All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome into Jammin' Sports. We have a baseball, football doubleheader for you today. First up, it's Game 5 of the National League Championship Series between the New York Mets and the Chicago Cubs. This series is tied at 2 games apiece. And then once baseball's over, we'll have football for you. It'll be the New England Patriots at the Buffalo Bills. So let's get ready now for Game 5 of the National League Championship Series between the Cubs and the Mets. Live from Wrigley Field here at Jammin' Sports. There's your lineup. Jammin' Sports presents Game 5 of the National League Championship Series between the New York Mets and the Chicago Cubs, live from Wrigley Field in Chicago. The series is tied at 2 games apiece. The Mets took the first 2 in New York, and the Cubs have won 2 in a row here at Wrigley. The home team has won every game so far. Game 5 of the NLCS up next here at Jammin' Sports. All right, we go to the top of the first. Fergie Jenkins will be the starting pitcher for the Cubbies here in game number 5. Leading off for the Mets will be David Wright, the third baseman. In game 5, about to get underway. And David Wright hits it sharply in the center field. Zach Wilson makes the play for out number 1. Starting lineup for the Mets, Keith Hernandez, the DH tonight. Alonso playing at first base. Series is tied at 2 games apiece. The winner of this series will take on the Oakland A's in the World Series. Keith Hernandez, the DH, up next. 1 out, bases empty. A ground ball right to Anson at first makes the play for out number 2. So quickly, 2 out for the Mets. Here in the top of the first, and now Darryl Strawberry will come up, the right fielder. 2 outs, bases empty. The pitch by Jenkins, down low. Count goes to 1-0. Just underway, live from Wrigley Field in Chicago. 1-0 pitch, popped up. Shortstop comes in, Ernie Banks, and makes the play for the out. A 1-2-3 inning for the Mets. We're scoreless here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Jacob deGrom on the mound for the Mets. Starting pitcher tonight. Leading off for the Cubbies, Cap Anson, the first baseman. No score here in the bottom of the first. DeGrom on the mound. Here's the pitch. Inside, did he go around? Yes, he did. Strike one. Count goes to 0-1. Anson didn't like the call. And he's making it known. Now the 0-1 pitch. Called strike on the inside corner. Count goes to 0-2 to Cap Anson. And now the 0-2 pitch. Down low, 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Up high, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, bases empty. Here in the bottom of the first, no score. The 2-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 2-2. And now the 2-2 pitch. Inside, 3-2. Full count to Anson. The 3-2 pitch. Pops it up. David Wright comes over in foul territory and makes the play for out number 1. 1 down for the Cubs. The Cubs starting lineup. Third baseman Ron Santo will be up next. The Cubs lineup has not changed at all during this postseason. And now the third baseman, Ron Santo, will come up. Inside, ball 1, count goes to 1-0. 1 out, bases empty. Here in the bottom of the first, no score. And now the 1-0 pitch. Down low, 2-0. Two balls and no strikes. And now the 2-0 pitch. A shot right up the middle. A 1-out single for Santo. And the Cubs have a runner aboard at first base. Next up, the left fielder, Billy Williams, with 1 out and a runner on first. The pitch, inside, 1-0. One out, runner on first, Santo at first base. And now the 1-0 pitch by DeGrom. Outside, 2-0. And now the 2-0 pitch. Fouls it off. Count goes to 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to Billy Williams. The 2-1 pitch. Inside, 3-1. Three balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Santo at first base for the Cubs. Here in the bottom of the first, no score. Now the 3-1 pitch. Rips it foul. Full count at 3-2. Now the 3-2 pitch. High in the air, out to Strawberry and right. He'll make the play for out number 2. Williams flies out to right. 2 down for the Cubs. Santos stays at first base. And now Sammy Sosa, the right fielder, up next, with 2 outs and a runner on first base. Bottom of the first, no score. 2 down for the Cubs. DeGrom on the mound. The pitch. Popped it up. Coming in, actually coming over. The second baseman, Alfonso, makes the play for the final out. After one complete, no score here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the second. Center fielder Willie Mays will lead things off for the Mets. Fergie Jenkins on the mound for the Cubs. In there for a strike, 0-1. Now the 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out, bases empty. And now the 0-2 pitch. Just high, 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Struck him out for out number 1. Here in the top of the second inning. Willie Mays goes down swinging for out number 1. Next up, Mike Piazza, the catcher. In there for a strike, 0-1. Jenkins pitching really well early. It was a 1-2-3 first inning for the Mets. And now with 1 out, bases empty, the count's 0-1 to Piazza. Make that 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. And now the 0-2 pitch. Rips it past Hansen at first, a base hit. Sosa will throw it in. A 1-out single for Mike Piazza. So now the Mets have a runner at first. Next up, Pete Alonso, the first baseman. 1 out, runner on first. In there for a strike, 0-1. And now the 0-1 pitch by Jenkins. Outside, 1-1. Game 5 of the NLCS series is tied at 2 games apiece. No score here in the top of the second. Outside, the count goes to 2-1 to Pete Alonso. There's 1 out for the Mets with a runner on first. That's Piazza at first base. 2-1 pitch. Fouled it off. Evens the count at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner on first. And now the 2-2 pitch. Ripped it into right field. Another base hit. Piazza will stay at second base. So back-to-back singles for the Mets. And now Cleon Jones, the left fielder, comes up with runners at first and second. 1 out. He went around, strike 1. Count goes to 0-1. Now the 0-1 pitch. Rips it down the line. Another base hit. Piazza. He's coming home. Here's the throw. Not in time. And the Mets take a 1-0 lead. 3 singles in a row for the Mets. And that scores Piazza. And the Mets take a 1-0 lead. And now Edgardo Alfonso comes up, the second baseman. And that's fouled off down the line, strike 1. Count goes to 0-1. So 3 straight singles for the Mets. And they take a 1-0 lead. Here in the top of the second. The 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, strike 2. Count goes to 0-2. Now the 0-2 pitch. struck him out for out number 2. He went down swinging. Took a big swing. And now with 2 outs here in the top of the second, next up will be Francisco Lindor, the shortstop. 2 outs, runners at first and second. And that's hit sharply. It's going to be a base hit. Alfonso's coming around. The throw home, not in time. And the Mets take a 2-0 lead. A double by Lindor. A 2-out double. That will score a run. And the Mets take a 2-0 lead here in the top of the second. And now the third baseman, David Wright. Still runners at first and second. 2 outs. Ball 1, count goes to 1-0. Yep. That's right. How's it going, CGM? The 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike, 1-1. I'm doing well. I hope you're doing all right. Game 5 of the NLCS. Does it? All right. I'll get it. I'll fix it. Thank you. I'll fix it. Fouled off. That's an easy fix. Doing it right now. The next pitch, up high, 2-2. There we go. I fixed it. Right to the first baseman, Anson. He'll touch the bag for the out. However, the Mets score 2. They lead at 2-0 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the second. The shortstop, Ernie Banks, will lead things off for the Cubs. The series is tied at 2 games apiece. Step up my game. I'm human. Banks will step up. Inside, 1-0. Jacob deGrom on the mound. Here's the pitch. Fouled that off. Count goes to 1-1. deGrom is a current player. I know that. So the Mets have a current player as the starting pitcher tonight. The 1-1 pitch. Down low, 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to Ernie Banks. Nobody out, bases empty. Here in the bottom of the second. Mets up 2-0. Up high, 3-1. Plays for Texas now. Yeah, he's a good pitcher. In there for a strike, full count. 3-2. Yeah, he's with the Rangers now. He's a good pitcher, he really is. And now the 3-2 pitch. Popped up. Out to left field. Making the play, Cleon Jones. 1 down for the Cubs here in the bottom of the second inning. Aramis Ramirez up next, the DH. Jimmy Jam with Evil Dead and CGM in the house. The pitch. Fouled it off. He really is. I agree. I don't like the rule changes at all. I understand why they implemented them. But that doesn't mean they should have been implemented. The only thing I'm happy about is the universal DH. I would have been happy either way. 1-2. Yeah, I can live with that too. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Ramirez. Down low. Evens the count at 2-2. I don't like interleague play at all. And he fouls it down the line. Interleague play has lessened the significance of the World Series. And the All-Star game is now a joke. 3-2. Three-two pitch. Fouled it off. Remains 3-2 to Ramirez. And now the 3-2 pitch. Popped it up. And the second baseman for the Mets, Alfonso, makes the play. 2 down. And now the catcher comes up, Gabby Hartnett, with 2 outs, bases empty for the Cubs. Here in the bottom of the second, down 2-0. In their first strike, 0-1. And now the 0-1 pitch. Out to right field. Strawberry is under it and makes the play. At the end of 2. Mets up 2-0 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the third. The DH, Keith Hernandez, will lead things off for the Mets. Fergie Jenkins on the mound. Fergie was a great pitcher in his day. Right up the middle, a base hit to lead off for the Mets here in the third. Hernandez is aboard. Wrigley Field in Chicago, Game 5 of the NLCS. Mets up 2-0. Runner on first base here in the top of the third, nobody out. Right fielder Darryl Strawberry comes up. Outside, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. The winner of this game will take a 3-2 lead back to New York for games 6 and 7. 7 if necessary. 1-0 pitch. He went around 1-1. Now the 1-1 pitch. Up high, 2-1. We'll have football after this. It'll be the Patriots and the Bills from Buffalo. A baseball-football doubleheader tonight. The 2-1 pitch. Down low, 3-1. Sorry, what? Misty's here as well. Say hi, Misty. There you go. Misty's eating peanut butter crackers. And now the 3-1 pitch to Strawberry. Fouls it off. Full count, 3-2. Nobody out, runner on first base for the Mets. 3-2 count to Strawberry. Here in the top of the third. 3-2 pitch. Struck him out. Took a big swing and missed. 1 down for the Mets. Here in the top of the third. And now Willie Mays, the center fielder, up next. In there for a strike, 0-1. And now the 0-1 pitch. Rips it foul down the line. 0-2. We'll have Game 6 Saturday night. Game 7, if necessary, Sunday night. Big swing and miss. Struck him out for out number 2. Hernandez still at first base. Now with 2 outs. And Mike Piazza, the catcher, comes up next. If this series does not go 7, we'll have Game 1 of the World Series Sunday night. Outside, 1-0. But if it goes 7, we'll have Game 7 on Sunday. And now the 1-0 pitch. In their first strike, a high strike, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, runner on first. And he rips it foul, 1-2. Hernandez at first base. And now the 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2. Jenkins, the 2-2 pitch. Struck him out. Retired the side. At the end of 2.5. Mets lead at 2-0 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the third. Hack Wilson, all 4 foot 10 inches of him. Nah, he's taller than that. He's 5'6". Jacob deGrom on the mound. And Wilson just hit one into the net. A solo shot by Hack Wilson. And the Cubs bullpen still can't dance. And the Cubs get on the board. The Mets still lead it 2-1. A solo shot by Hack Wilson. Let's watch this one again. He got all of that one. Now Ryan Sandberg, the second baseman up next, takes the first pitch for a strike. The Cubs are on the board. The Mets still lead at 2-1. Nobody out, bases empty for the Cubs here in the bottom of the third. Counts 0-1 to Sandberg. 0-1 pitch, outside, 1-1. Now the 1-1 pitch. A ground ball up the middle, a base hit. So the Cubbies start the third with a home run and a base hit. They have a runner at first, nobody out. And first baseman Cap Anson will come up next. The old-timer with the handlebar mustache. deGrom on the mound. The pitch, outside, 1-0. The Cubs working their way back in the game. They're down by 1. Nobody out here in the bottom of the third. The 1-0 pitch, rips it to Strawberry and right, and he makes the play for out number 1. 1 down for the Cubs. Anson flies out to right. And now, Ron Santo, the third baseman, up next, with 1 out, runner on first. The pitch, fouls it off. Count goes to 0-1 to Santo. Game 5 of the NLCS. This series is tied at 2 games apiece. Snap throw to first. Sandberg back in time. The count's 0-1 to Santo. Now the 0-1 pitch. Inside, there goes the runner. And he's safe. Sandberg safe at second with a stolen base. The throw is to the wrong side of the bag. Had the throw been to the right side, they might have got him. So now the Cubs have a runner at second with 1 out. The count's 1-1 to Santo. Inside, 2-1. Two balls and a strike to Santo with 1 out. Sandberg at second, taking the lead. And now the 2-1 pitch, up high, 3-1. Crowd getting into it. And now the 3-1 pitch. Popped it up. David Wright comes over in foul territory and makes the play for out number 2. So Santo pops out to third. 2 down. Sandberg still at second base. And Billy Williams, the left fielder, up next for the Cubbies. 2 outs, runner on second base. DeGrom looking, and here's the pitch. And that's ripped into right. Strawberry's not going to be able to get to it. And lucky for them, it goes foul. Lucky for the Mets, that is. Count goes to 0-1. Now the 0-1 pitch. Up high, 1-1. Now the 1-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. Inside. That'll even the count at 2-2. Here at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Game 5 of the NLCS. It counts 2-2 to Williams. The 2-2 pitch, up high, full count, 3-2. Three balls and 2 strikes to Williams with 2 outs. Sandberg at second. The 3-2 pitch. Fouled it off. Remains at 3-2. The home team has won every game in this series so far. And now the 3-2 pitch. Down low. He draws the walk. A 2-out walk for Williams. And now the Cubs have runners at first and second with 2 outs. And the right fielder, Sammy Sosa, will be up next. The pitch by DeGrom. In there for a strike, 0-1. Now the 0-1 pitch. In there for a strike, quickly 0-2 to Sosa. DeGrom trying to get out of the inning without giving up any more runs. And now the 0-2 pitch. Up high, 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Down low. The runners are going to advance. On the wild pitch. So now the Cubs have runners at second and third. Yeah, that'll be a wild pitch. So now the Cubs with 2 outs have runners at second and third. The count's 2-2 to Sosa. The 2-2 pitch. Full count, 3-2. It's outside. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners at second and third. And now the 3-2 pitch. Rips it. It's going to be a base hit. That's going to score 2 runs. Strawberry mishandles it. And he's out at second base. However, the Cubs, they score 2 on that play right there. They take a 3-2 lead here at Jammin' Sports. All right, we go to the top of the 4th inning here in Game 5 of the NLCS. The Cubs now lead at 3-2. A 3-run 3rd inning for the Cubs. Leading off for the Mets will be Pete Alonso, the first baseman. Rips it past Banks at short. It'll be a base hit. A leadoff single for Alonso for the Mets here in the top of the 4th. A leadoff single for Alonso. Ernie Banks couldn't quite get to it. And now the left fielder, Cleon Jones, will come up. In there for a strike, 0-1. Now the 0-1 pitch, just inside, 1-1. Nobody out, runner on first for the Mets. Here in the top of the fourth, Cubs up 3-2. And now the 1-1 pitch to Jones. Rips it into right field. Sosa going back and makes the play for out number 1. Sammy Sosa with the fine play. One down for the Mets here in the fourth. Edgardo Alfonso, the second baseman, up next. In there for a strike, 0-1. One out, runner on first for the Mets. Now the 0-1 pitch. Down low, 1-1. Fouls it off, 1-2. Now the 1-2 pitch by Jenkins. Outside, 2-2. A 2-2 count to Alfonso. The pitch, big swing and a miss. Struck him out for out number 2. 2 down for the Mets. 6 strikeouts for Jenkins now. And next up, Francisco Lindor. 2 outs, runner on first. Outside, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. We're in the top of the fourth. Here live from Wrigley Field. And now the 1-0 pitch. Inside, 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs, runner on first. Now the 2-0 pitch. Down low, 3-0. 2 outs for the Mets here in the top of the fourth. But Lindor with a 3-0 count. The pitch by Jenkins, right down the middle, 3-1. Three-one pitch to Lindor. Draws a walk. It'll be a 2-out walk. And now the Mets have runners at first and second. We go to the top of the order. David Wright will come up, the third baseman. 0 for 2 tonight so far. 2 outs, runners at first and second. Alonso at second base. The pitch to Wright, and he rips it down the line. Anson will touch the bag for the out. At the end of 3.5, Cubs lead it 3-2 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Here in Game 5, Ernie Banks, the shortstop, will lead things off for the Cubs. Jacob deGrom still on the mound. In there for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Game 5, the series is tied at 2 games apiece. In there for a strike. Quickly 0-2 to Banks. And now the 0-2 pitch. Swung and struck him out on 3 pitches. 1 down for the Cubs. And now the DH, Aramis Ramirez, up for the Mets. The pitch. Inside, it's 1-0. And now the 1-0 pitch. Rips it foul. Count evens up at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, bases empty. And now the 1-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. Popped it up. Piazza will take it for out number 2. Ramirez pops out to the catcher. 2 down for the Cubs. Bases empty. And now Gabby Hartnett, the catcher, will be up next. 2 outs, bases empty. The pitch by DeGrom. Fouls it off, 0-1. Now the 0-1 pitch. Inside, 1-1. Game 5 tonight. Game 6 Saturday night after football. The 1-1 pitch. It's low, 2-1. If there is a game 7, it'll be Sunday night after football. Counts 2-1 to Hartnett with 2 outs. Bases empty. 2-1 pitch. Fouls it off. Evens the count at 2-2. And now the 2-2 pitch. Just outside. Full count at 3-2 to Gabby Hartnett. The 3-2 pitch. Struck him out. That'll end the inning. After 4 complete, the Cubs lead at 3-2 here at Jammin' Sports. And we go to the top of the 5th inning. Here in game number 5, the DH, Keith Hernandez, up for the Mets. Cubs lead at 3-2. Jenkins still on the mound. Up high, 1-0. And now the 1-0 pitch to Hernandez. Fouls it off. That'll even the count at 1-1. Jimmy Jam with Evil Dead and CGM in the house. Misty's here. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fouls it off. 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out, bases empty. We're in the top of the 5th. The 1-2 pitch to Hernandez. Pops it up, out of play. Count remains at 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. And that's right to Anson. He'll take it himself for out number 1. So Hernandez grounds out to first. 1 down for the Mets here in the 5th. And now the right fielder, Darryl Strawberry, comes up. 1 out, bases empty. And the pitch by Jenkins. He fouls it off. Count goes to 0-1. We have the New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills up next. NFL action here at Jammin' Sports. The 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Quickly 0-2 to Strawberry. And now the 0-2 pitch. Inside, 1-2. Now the 1-2 pitch. Inside, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, bases empty. The 2-2 pitch. Swung and struck him out for out number 2. 2 down for the Mets. And now the center fielder, Willie Mays, will step up with 2 outs, bases empty. pitch by Jenkins. Inside, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. Inside, 2-0. Wrigley Field in Chicago on the north side. Game 5 of the NLCS. The 2-0 pitch. On the outside corner, 2-1. And the 2-1 pitch to Mays. Outside, 3-1. Piazza on deck. Three and 1 to Mays. The pitch by Jenkins. Nope, didn't strike him out. 3-2. Full count. Got ahead of myself. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases empty. Full count. Here's the pitch. Outside, it'll be a 2-out walk for Willie Mays. So Mike Piazza comes up, the catcher. He's about due. 2 outs. The pitch. Outside, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Runner at first base. Willie Mays at first. The 1-0 pitch. Popped it up, out of play. Evens the count at 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. There goes Mays. Down to second. Safe. Willie Mays with a stolen base. And now the Mets have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. The count's 2-1 to Piazza. That was oh so close. And now the 2-1 pitch. Piazza, it's a base hit. All the way to the wall. Mays will score to even the game at 3. And Piazza has himself a 2-out double with an RBI. That'll tie the game up at 3. We got a whole new ball game now. Just over the shortstop's head. Ernie Banks at short couldn't get to it. Still 2 outs for the Mets here in the top of the 5th inning. Pete Alonso, the first baseman, up next. In there for a strike, 0-1. Now Alonso. It counts 0-1. 0-1 pitch. Fouls it off down the line. Count quickly. 0-2 to Alonso. 2 outs. Piazza at second base. And now the 0-2 pitch. Struck him out. At the end of 4.5 off of Piazza's double, the Mets have tied it up at 3 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning here at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Game 5 of the NLCS. Hack Wilson, the center fielder, will lead things off. The series is tied at 2 games apiece. The pitch is inside, ball 1. And the game is tied at 3 here in the bottom of the 5th. The 1-0 pitch to Wilson. Outside, 2-0. And now the 2-0 pitch. Outside, 3-0. Three balls, no strikes, nobody out, bases empty. And now the 3-0 pitch to Wilson. Ball 4 on 4 pitches. A leadoff walk for the Cubs. And now the second baseman, Ryan Sandberg, comes up. Nobody out, runner on first. That's Wilson on first for the Cubs in a tie ball game. Sandberg will step in to face DeGrom. The pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1. Davis in the house. Good to see you, Davis. Here in Game 5. The 0-1 pitch. Sandberg up in the air. Strawberry out and right, going back. And Strawberry makes the play for out number 1. They quickly throw it in. One down for the Cubs here at the bottom of the 5th. And now the first baseman, Cap Hansen, up next. Davis. Next up is football, the Patriots at the Bills. So you might want to hang out and watch the Patriots tonight. Cap Hansen, the first baseman, up. Down low, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. And now the 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike, 1-1. They throw to first, Wilson back in time. Meanwhile, the count is 1-1 to the first baseman, Hansen. No reason to, Bills all night. Fouls it off down the line. Count goes to 1-2 to Hansen. Patriots have to win to keep their slim playoff hopes alive. 1-2 pitch. Down low, 2-2. Wrigley Field in Chicago. The count's at 2-2. And now the 2-2 pitch. A ground ball. They'll get the double play off this. There's 1 and 2. And that'll end the inning. At the end of 5 complete. We're tied at 3 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the 6th in a tie ball game. The left fielder, Cleon Jones, for the Mets will lead things off in a tie ball game here in game number 5. In there for a strike, 0-1. In there for another strike, 0-2. Down low, 1-2. Trying to see what Evil Dead just spelled there. Jets. Something about the Jets. Misty says, who's that? Fouls it off. Count goes to 1-2 to Jones. First place Jets. Is that it? 1-2 pitch. Struck him out. 1 down for the Mets. 9 strikeouts for Jenkins tonight. Well, I'll need to ask Gracie about that. She has 2 of them now. Edgardo Alfonso, the second baseman, up next. First pitch up high, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. 1 out for the Mets here in the top of the 6th. Nobody on base. The other package was sent this morning. The 1-0 pitch. Down low, 2-0. You're welcome. 2-0 pitch. In there for a strike, 2-1. Two balls and a strike, 1 out, base is empty. The 2-1 pitch. Fouled down the line, out of play. Count evens up at 2-2 to Edgardo Alfonso, the second baseman for the Mets. 2-2 pitch. Rips it foul. Remains at 2-2. Now the 2-2 pitch. And that's to Sandberg. Throws to first for the out. Alfonso grounds out to second. Ryan Sandberg with a diving play. And gets the put out. Two down for the Mets here in the top of the 6th. Francisco Lindor, the shortstop, up next. Outside, 1-0. 2 outs, bases empty for the Mets here in the top of the 6th. We're tied at 3. And now the 1-0 pitch. Inside, 2-0. And now the 2-0 pitch. Fouls it off down the line. Count goes 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to Lindor. Jenkins. The 2-1 pitch. And Lindor fouls that one off. Remains at 2-2. And now the 2-2 pitch. It hit him, but he went around. Struck him out. At the end of 5.5, we're tied at 3 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Here in game number 5, Ron Santo will lead things off for the Cubs, the third baseman, in a tie ball game. DeGrom still on the mound, and Santo fouls that one off. Count goes to 0-1. Now the 0-1 pitch. Right back to DeGrom. He'll throw to first for the out. So Santo grounds out to the pitcher. 1 down. And now the left fielder, Billy Williams, will come up for Chicago with 1 out, bases empty. The pitch by DeGrom. Out to left field, and Cleon Jones makes the play for out number 2. 2 down for the Cubbies. And now Sammy Sosa, the right fielder, will come up. Big swing and a miss, strike 1. Count goes to 0-1. And now the 0-1 pitch. Pops it up. Coming over, Alonso in foul territory makes the play, and that'll end the inning. At the end of 6 complete, we're tied at 3 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the 7th in a tie ball game here in game 5. David Wright, the third baseman for the Mets, will lead things off. Fergie Jenkins still on the mound, and Wright fouls that one off. Count goes to 0-1. And now the 0-1 pitch. He went around, 0-2. Michael Fulmer warming up on the bullpen for the Cubbies. The count's 0-2 to David Wright. Now the 0-2 pitch. Out to Sosa, and Wright makes the play for out number 1. Wright flies out to right. 1 down for the Mets here in the top of the 7th. The DH, Keith Hernandez, up next. We're still tied at 3. In there for a strike, 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Fouls it off. Count quickly, 0-2 to Hernandez. 1 out, bases empty here in the top of the 7th. And now the 0-2 pitch. High in the air, out to center. Hack Wilson comes in and makes the play for out number 2. 2 down for the Mets. Wrigley Field in Chicago. Game 5 of the NLCS. Series tied at 2 games apiece. Darryl Strawberry comes up, the right fielder, with 2 outs, bases empty. Fouls it off, strike 1. Count goes to 0-1. And Now the 0-1 pitch. Down low, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, bases empty. And now the 1-1 pitch. Up high, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. Up high, 3-1. 3 balls and a strike with 2 outs. And now the 3-1 pitch to Strawberry. And he rips it into right. Sosa goes back and makes the play for the final out. At the end of 6.5, we're tied at 3 here at Jammin' Sports. New pitcher for the Mets, John Curtis, will come in here in the bottom of the 7th inning. We're still tied at 3, Game 5 of the NLCS. The series is tied at 2 games apiece. Ernie Banks, the shortstop, will lead things off for the Cubs, with Curtis on the mound now for the Mets. In their first strike, 0-1. Raley warming up with the bullpen for New York. One pitch and their first strike, 0-2. The 0-2 pitch, up high, struck him out for out number 1. Swung at some high heat, struck him out. Next up, the DH. Aramis Ramirez. 1 out, bases empty for the Cubs here in the bottom of the 7th. Down low, ball 1, count goes to 1-0. The winner of this game will take a 3-2 lead in the series back to New York for Game 6 and possibly 7. The 1-0 pitch in their first strike, 1-1. And the winner of this series takes on the Oakland A's in the World Series. The 1-1 pitch. Rips it into right field, the base hit. For Ramirez. A 1-out single for the Cubs here at the bottom of the 7th. And now Gabby Hartnett, the catcher, comes up with 1 out, a runner on first base in a tie ball game. Hartnett will step up. The pitch, it's up high, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. Fouls it off, evens the count at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runner on first base for the Cubs. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. The 1-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. He swung and struck him out. 2 down for the Cubs here in the 7th. Nice pitch by Curtis. Got him swinging on it. And now Hack Wilson, the center fielder, up with 2 outs and a runner on first base. Pitch by Curtis. Fouls it off. 0-1. Wilson back in. The batter's box. The count's at 0-1. Fouls it off again down the first base line. Count goes to 0-2. Go balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on first. The 0-2 pitch. Up high, 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch by Curtis. Fouls it off. Count remains at 1-2. Wilson hit a home run the last time he came up. They throw to first. Ramirez back in time. Count remains at 1-2 to Wilson. The 1-2 pitch. Inside, 2-2. That'll even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on first base, Ramirez. And now the 2-2 pitch. Up high, full count to Wilson at 3-2. And now the 3-2 pitch. Down the first base line, drifting foul. Count remains at 3-2. You gotta tell these people in the front row to sit down so the people behind them can see. 3-2 pitch. His second home run of the night. This one a 2-run shot. Hack Wilson in the bullpen going crazy again. And the Cubbies take a 5-3 lead. Hack Wilson's second home run of the night. A 2-run blast this time. And the Cubs lead it 5-3. Almost the same place as before. Ryan Sandberg, the second baseman, up next. 2 outs, bases empty. The Cubs up by 2 now. Right to the first baseman, Alonso, for the final out. But at the end of 7, Hack Wilson, a 2-run blast, gives the Cubs a 5-3 lead here at Jammin' Sports. New pitcher for the Cubs, Bruce Sutter, comes in as we go to the top of the 8th inning. Cubs lead it 5-3 here in Game 5. Cubs trying to take a 3-2 lead in the series as it heads back to New York. Willie Mays, the center fielder, will be up for the Mets. We had a Hack attack tonight. 2 home runs by Hack. So Sutter facing Mays in their first strike, 0-1. Fulmer and Smith warming up in the bullpen. And now the pitch to Mays. Rips it foul. Count goes to 0-2. And now the 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, struck him out. Mays has struck out 3 times tonight. One down for the Mets here in the top of the 8th. Mike Piazza, the catcher, up next. 1 out, bases empty. He went around, strike 1. And now the 0-1 pitch by Sutter. Outside, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Yeah, the Mets are in trouble, CG. You're right. The final 2 games are in New York. We'll be back at Shea Stadium. Fouls it off. Count goes to 1-2 to Piazza. The home team has won every game so far in this series. 1-2 pitch up high, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Outside, 3-2. A full count to Piazza. And now the 3-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 3-2. Three-two pitch. Rips it foul. Piazza battling Suter here at the plate. Count remains at 3-2. Now the 3-2 pitch. Rips it into right field, the base hit. A one-out single for Piazza here in the top of the 8th. So now the tying run comes to the plate for the Mets. Pete Alonso, the first baseman. One out, runner on first base. Cubs up 5-3. Here's the pitch. Fouls it off, 0-1. No balls and a strike, one out, runner on first base. And now the 0-1 pitch. Outside, 1-1. And now the 1-1 pitch. He went around, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Piazza at first base. Mets trying to tie it back up. Now the 1-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Remains 1-2. Now the 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2. That'll even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner at first base. Now the 2-2 pitch. Up high. Full count to Alonso at 3-2. Cub fans getting nervous. It's a full count. 3-2 pitch. He swung and struck out. That was a nasty sinker. 2 down for the Mets here in the top of the 8th. Your Yanks were eliminated already, Davis. The A's beat them 4-1. The A's are in the World Series. The Yanks, they lost that series 4-1. Cleon Jones, the left fielder, up. Strike 1. Count goes to 0-1 with 2 outs. I'm afraid so. The A's are in the World Series. They'll play one of these two. And Jones fouls it off. Count quickly, 0-2. Now the 0-2 pitch. Outside, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Piazza at first base. Well, I'm not going to lie to you. Did he go around? Yes, he did. And that'll end the inning. After 7.5, the Cubs lead it 5-3 here at Jammin' Sports. We got a new pitcher for the Mets, Brooks Raley, as we go to the bottom of the 8th. The Cubs lead it 5-3. Chicago trying to get some insurance runs. Camp Hansen, the first baseman, will lead things off for the Cubbies. Outside, ball 1. We've got the Patriots and the Bills up next. NFL action here at Jammin' Sports. Inside, 2-0. Bless you. Misty sneezed. 2-0 pitch. Outside, 3-0 to Hansen. Three balls, no strikes. Nobody out, bases empty. Cap Hansen, the first baseman, at the plate. The 3-0 pitch. In there for a strike, 3-1. Bless you again. Counts at 3-1. The pitch. Rips it past right at third base. It'll be a base hit. A leadoff single for the Cubs here in the bottom of the 8th. Here live from Wrigley Field in Chicago. Cubs up 5-3. Third baseman Ron Santo will come up. Inside and low, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0 to Santo. Nobody out, runner on first base. Anson at first. Now the 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. That'll even the count at 1-1. Robertson and Wagner warming up. Now the 1-1 pitch. There goes the runner down to second. He's safe. Cap Hansen with a stolen base. And now the Cubs have a runner on second base with nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. For a short, chubby guy, he can move. The count's at 1-2 to Santo. 1-2 pitch. Inside, 2-2. And now the 2-2 pitch to Santo. Down low, 3-2. We got a full count. And now the 3-2 pitch. Ripped foul down the line. Count remains at 3-2. 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. The Cubs now with nobody out, with runners at first and second here in the bottom of the 8th. And the left fielder now, Billy Williams, comes up. Cubs lead at 5-3 here in Game 5. The pitch up high, 1-0. Brooks Raley having a bit of a hard time on the mound for the Mets. The 1-0 pitch popped up. Alonso going over in foul territory and makes the play for out number 1. One down for the Cubs here in the 8th. They still have runners at first and second. And now the right fielder, Sammy Sosa, will come up. The pitch by Raley in the dirt, gets by the catcher. The runners will move up. And now the runners are at second and third on the wild pitch. Two runners in scoring position for the Cubs. They're going to intentionally walk him. The count was 3-0 anyway. So now they can get the double play. And now we have another pitcher coming in, Billy Wagner. Mets trying to get the double play to get out of the inning. Bases loaded for the Cubs with one out here in the bottom of the 8th. And Ernie Banks, the shortstop, will come up next. He was a really good player back in the day, Ernie Banks. The pitch, in there for a strike, 0-1. No balls and a strike to Banks. One out, bases loaded. A double play gets the Mets out of the inning. 0-1 pitch. Outside, 1-1. A walk will score a run. The 1-1 pitch, up high, 2-1. Two balls and a strike to Banks with 1 out, bases loaded. And now the 2-1 pitch. Up high, 3-1. Oh boy. 3 balls and a strike with 1 out. 3-1 pitch. Rips it foul. That'll even the count at 3-2. Full count to Banks. Banks will step back in. The pitch by Wagner. Struck him out for out number 2. And that's a big strikeout. Now the Cubs need a base hit to score a run. Next up, the DH, RMS Ramirez. Two outs, bases loaded. Wagner on the mound. The pitch by Wagner. Up high, 1-0. A walk will still score a run. And now the 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, bases loaded. Wagner trying to retire the side. The 1-1 pitch. Fouls it off. Count goes to 1-2 to Ramirez. And now the 1-2 pitch. Up high, 2-2. That'll even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Cubs up 5-3. The 2-2 pitch. Outside, full count, 3-2. Three balls and 2 strikes. Three-two pitch. He walked him, and that'll score a run. And the Cubs take a 6-3 lead. Two outs, bases still loaded. And now the Cubs lead by 3. Here in the bottom of the 8th, Gabby Hartnett, the catcher, comes up next. So now the Mets have to overcome a 3-run deficit here in the 9th. Hartnett will step in. That's a strike, 0-1. He went around. And the 0-1 pitch. Fouls it off. Quickly 0-2 to Hartnett. The Cubs have scored 1. They take a 6-3 lead. The count's 0-2 with 2 outs. Bases loaded. The 0-2 pitch. Inside, 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch by Wagner. Swung and struck him out. At the end of 8, the Cubs score 1. They lead it 6-3. We go to the 9th here at Jammin' Sports. New pitcher for the Cubs here in the 9th inning. Lee Smith will come in to try to close out the Mets. Cubs trying to take a 3-2 lead in the series. Game 6 back in New York. That'll be Saturday night after football. Game 7, if necessary, will be Sunday night after football. Edgardo Alfonso, the second baseman, In there for a strike, 0-1. Now the 0-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 0-2. The Mets have to score at least 3 to keep this game going. The count's 0-2 to Alfonso. And now the 0-2 pitch. Swung and struck him out for out number 1. Went down for the Mets here in the 9th. Francisco Lindor, the shortstop, up next. One out, bases empty. Lee Smith on the mound. In there for a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. And now the 0-1 pitch. Popped it up quickly, 0-2 to Lindor. And now the 0-2 pitch. Outside, ball 1, count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, bases empty. Lindor at the plate, the 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2. And now the 2-2. Swung and struck him out. Oh yeah, absolutely, Evil Dead. You're right. That come from behind win in game 3. That changed everything. Now David Wright with 2 outs, bases empty. Mets down to the last out here in game 5. David Wright out to Billy Williams, and he makes the catch on the warning track, and the Cubs win. The Cubs take game 5, and the Cubs take a 3-2 lead in the series. 6-3 win over the Mets. Cubs win it by a score of 6-3. DeGrom, the winning pitcher, actually he's the losing pitcher. Jenkins, the winning pitcher for the Cubs. And the Chicago Cubs take a 3-2 lead in the series. Game 6, Saturday night after football. Learn more about the show by going online to theshow.com. Once again, your final score, the Cubs over the Mets in Game 5, 6-3. The Cubs take a 3-2 lead. Coming up next, NFL football, the Patriots and the Bills, right here at Jammin' Sports.